Good morning from the allotment. It's early Sunday morning. It's quite bright, bit chilly. I've just got the kettle on just to have a quick brew, warm myself up. What I'm going to probably do today is just give you a plot tour, so just show you the things that I've been doing over the last month or so. So this will be the February plot tour. I'll start right down at the bottom of the plot and then just work my way through the plot, just show you what I've been doing, and also into the greenhouses and down to the end of the plot. But before I do that, I'll have a cup of tea and I'll be back with you. Right folks, I'll start at the front of the plot. As I said to you before, this is right at the front entrance where I planted the fruit trees and the pergola. I mentioned that I'm going to get this part of the garden sorted out, so I've managed to get in amongst all that, get all the old Montbretia foliage off, so that's pretty much cleared, and I'm going to look at replanting that area. So I've done that side. I also did the paths at the front of this area because they were quite worn, and then I've also, as you can see, done there as well, taken out all the dead Montbretia, all the weeds as best I can. I've got a rhubarb growing right in that very corner, so I'm going to get some manure, just pile that on the top of there. Yeah, so did this path here all the way up. You remember the fruit trees that I put in? This one's starting to bud now, and we're starting to get some of the bulbs starting to shoot through on these. So there's daffodils in there, crocus, and then, as I did, some of the Montbretia from the other bed at the top of the plot. You can see there's another one. What I also did was I wanted to take out, there used to be a large sage here, and I wanted to basically prune it down. When I looked into it, it were very, very twiggy, so it really didn't warrant it, to be fair. The only thing that we could do with that is take it out, and then once I took it out, you know, the rosemary, the back end of the rosemary where it had been underneath the sage, had gone all bald. So I've decided to take all that out. I've redressed all the beds, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start again. So I'll be out shopping this week, looking for some nice herbs. Any suggestions on herbs, then please just leave a comment. It'd be nice to hear from you. Right, okay, just moving on. I started doing my potato trenches. The reason that I've done them early is because I find it quite a bit of a chore when it comes to the planting of potatoes, and if you leave it right to the point where they need to be going in, I just feel pressured by doing that. So what I did is, over the last week or so, I just came down and I dug a trench or a couple of trenches a day. So as you can see there, there's a few dug there. I think there's 5 in that one, and then here there's 3. So that's a job that I don't have to think about. You know, once the time comes to get the seed potatoes in, then I can just crack on with that. The onions are starting to get a little bit of a spurt on, so I'm quite pleased with those. Just have to keep an eye out for the weeds now, because they'll start to shoot up as well. I'm going to be harvesting some leeks today. I'm going to probably harvest the majority of those, because some of them are going to seed. So I'm going to harvest the majority. Some will go in pies and soup. Whatever's left over will go in the freezer. I'm going to then cultivate these beds, and these are going to become what I call the salad station. So each of these are going to be all redressed. We'll have things like beetroot, lettuce, and other salads in there. So that's that. The tunnel is going to get some lime on it before I look to plant my brassicas. And there's the other potato bed I started. The bay tree that I transplanted, that I saved from the compost pile, he's doing quite well now. The bean frame is all sorted, it's very secure. And that's one of the squash beds. I've got one opposite it as well. What I'm going to really try and do this year is this fence, or all the fencing all the way around the plot. I'm going to try and clothe it with plants. So I'm looking at various shrubs, climbing plants, flowers, clematis, some raspberries, blackberries, all types of fruit, and I'm just going to try and clothe it with a mixture of all different types of plants and shrubs, just to try and increase sort of like pollinators, try and get bees into the plot. I've started by putting one of the globosa, Buddleia globosas there. That really attracts the bees. I just have to keep it pruned down so it don't block me getting to my beds. And I've also bobbed a globosa over at this side as well, just down there, so that can have that space there. I've got quite a lot of beds, so I can afford to give up some space to flowers and plants, and I'm going to try and do that this year, just add a little bit of colour. There's the other squash bed. All the beds are prepped. These are all pot plants. I think they're all calla lilies. I was given those by the mother and father-in-law, so I'm not quite sure what's in there, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how they turn out. Okay, we're in greenhouse number 1. Just some spare onions there. In these propagators here, I have potted on my cosmos, so they'll start to come along fine. Under this fleece I've got my potatoes. I was going to go with red varieties, but just couldn't seem to get hold of them, so really struggled. So what I've gone with is I've got the first early Charlottes there, and then I've got underneath here some Kerris pinks, and then under here I've gone with Cara. Cara, I've always seemed to do well with those. They're a very lovely tasting potato, so they're chitting on here nicely, as you saw. I always keep the fleece to hand. These are some of the seedlings that I brought down off the propagator, the Super 7, Lavateria and Rainbow Chard. So they'll go back under a propagator now. The cooler weather will slow them down, stop them stretching, and they've got a lot of light here, so they should do nicely. Found this in my compost bin. Not quite sure what it is, but I pulled it out and I thought I'm going to put it on. I think it might be fennel. I'm not sure. So anybody got any ideas what that is? Just drop me a comment and let me know. It'd be good to hear from you, as I say. Under there are my dahlias, all nice and tucked up. I'll pull that off soon so we can get a bit of light to them. Underneath I've got all my cannas all around the back there, all just sitting there waiting to burst into flower eventually. So what I've done is I've finally tidied up this overhang at the side of my shed, and what I've done is I've got all my pots in here. The trays that I use most commonly at the front, and all the pots are in these baskets, so I can simply lift them out and get to the ones that I need that are at the back. So nice, tidy and tucked away. So I think that's going to make things a lot easier for me, all my baskets and things down there. So I'm really pleased about that. There's nothing more annoying when you're trying to find a pot. You know, just do a simple little job and you're having to dig into a big massive shed with pots all over. It's a greenhouse number 2. I think I showed you this the other week. Everything's pretty much the same in here. We're starting to get some nice green shoots on the shallots. The steer and onion sets are pretty much all greening up now, so that's quite good. The Ailsa Craigs are not doing too bad. Gadisha, all these are still got the lids on. Some of my tomatoes are loopings, and the broad beans are doing okay. I said last week that I'm going to get these strawberries out, and I haven't done it. I'm going to make that a job that I'll definitely do today. So that's it, folks. That was a quick wander around the plot, just showing you exactly where we are and what we're up to. I will probably be doing a video this time next week. I'm quite busy this week, so probably not going to get down as much as I'd like. As you can see, the whiteboard's filling up. I've got another whiteboard there for the bottom half of the plot. That'll start to get filled up, so it won't be long before we're full steam ahead. So I hope to see you then. Thanks again to all my new subscribers, and I hope you're enjoying the videos. Stick with me, let's see where we go. Until next week, take care.